Hi, my name is Taryn, and the SIOP strategy I'll be talking about is called Move It. This strategy is really simple, but it's a great way to help students who may be limited in English and who are still learning to express themselves clearly. The strategy can be used at any grade level and with any subject, and it can be used before a lesson as a way of giving any needed background knowledge, or it can be used during or after a lesson to clarify and review the different concepts and vocabulary you've gone over. Move It is basically just using various movements and facial expressions to teach different concepts and vocabulary. And this is good because the teacher decides what each movement means. So the strategy doesn't really require a handout or anything to be written down, but you may find that it would be helpful or appropriate to create maybe a poster or some sort of illustration for certain gestures that you really want your students to remember. So an example of this strategy would be maybe when teaching about greater than, less than, or equal to, you may decide to teach your students to use their hands to represent the mouth of an alligator chomping the biggest piece. Or you could use this hand motion like this when teaching students that electrical energy is energy that flows through wires. Another way that I've seen it implemented, and that would be helpful, is doing something called mirrors. And mirrors is simply having the students mirror what you're doing as you explain a concept or a new term. So you would say mirrors on, and the students would repeat mirrors on. Then you would proceed to explain the concept while using various movements. And the students would continue to repeat after you and mimic each movement as you do it. So, using one of the previous examples, the way you would do mirrors is by saying mirrors on, and then you would say, I know that electrical energy is energy that flows through wires. Mirrors off. And as I do the hand motions, the students would be mimicking me and doing the same motions and repeating after me. And again, this can be done in teaching pretty much anything and at any point in the lesson. So this strategy is really simple, but it really works for all students, especially English language learners. Using hand movements can help English language learners to learn to express themselves better and more clearly, and it can help the teacher because they'll be familiar with the movements and they'll be able to understand what their students are trying to convey to them. Teachers can also use this strategy to monitor student progress and understanding. So, by creating hand gestures for yes and no, or even different hand gestures like thumbs up, thumbs down, to check for understanding, for example, this can really be used within this strategy and can be helpful for monitoring student progress. I really like this strategy because it helps keep the students engaged. So instead of lecturing and having students just take notes the whole time, this is a good way to get them involved and moving. And so this is also beneficial for kinesthetic learners. But it really helps students who are still learning English and who still need a little extra support. So this is definitely a strategy I plan to use in my own classroom, and I hope that you plan to use it in yours too.